Extreme Anime Radio. Salutations and welcome to the XAR podcast. It is January 21st, 2026. It is the finale of season 12. We have to wrap up this season at some point before we hit our anniversary. And welcome to all of you. And, well, in our neck of the woods, depending on where you are, you either having good weather or it's like Hoth in Star Wars. I'm JR and he is Nev. Hello, Nev.
It's not Hoth here. It's freezing. Thank you very much.
But yes, it looks like this weekend, if not for you, definitely for me, we're getting some nasty winter weather inbound here.
Unfortunately, the weather models up here are they have no idea. Like they are literally, it could be nasty. It could be nice. The good news for me, at least, is I already noped out of something on Saturday because I have something else planned on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And if this hits on Sunday, well, it's going to hit and we'll see what happens.
Right. And we're going to get to that towards the end of the broadcast. So trust me on that. And, So, yes, XAR podcast. We didn't do a season finale last month, so I figured this will be the season finale here. And then, of course, when we start our 25th anniversary celebrations, we'll start a brand new season. XAR podcast is available all over the place along the internet realm. You can watch us on YouTube and Twitch. You can listen to us at xarpodcast.net. or your favorite podcasting platform, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, insert name here, podcasts. Hopefully we're in a lot of places, Nev.
Yes. I will say that Spotify is great in the car. And, when I'm mind-numbingly driving, hearing myself speak is also mind-numbingly, making me sure I don't do anything stupid. It's like, oh, God. I'm not going to speed like this. I'm just going to fall asleep like this.
Yeah. So we welcome you here. Thank you for the hearts, Bree. Thank you for the bacon, Lizzie. Posted a bacon emote before we started.
Which is ironic considering I had a Baconator for dinner, but
Oh, there you go. So we were on the air just a few minutes late tonight. Give Neff an allowance considering you have winter weather right now, and also we had to give your computer a little kick in the what.
A little kick in the CPU. Yeah. This thing is now 5 going on 6 years old, and I'm starting to think that maybe it's time. But as I want to say, changing computers is worse than moving because you have to move all the data, reinstall all the programs. And of course, you have programs where you have licenses. You have to uninstall on the old computer, reinstall on the new computer. I'd rather not, pardon me while I, shoot Alexa, bang. Because this is what I get for forgetting to mute the darn thing before we start.
No, it happens to me too. Whenever I say something weird and it sounds like the
The
Apple,
word.
the Apple word. Let's say it that way, because I don't want to say the word and have this iPad light up in front of me here.
Yeah, I've had that happen when watching TV, and it's like, no, we weren't talking to you. Go away.
So we have a few things on tap here tonight here in the XAR podcast. First and foremost, this being the season finale, of course, we want to thank you guys for following us as we continue our journey through the realm of podcasts and Twitch streams. And we look forward to welcoming you as we celebrate XAR's 25th anniversary. We have a project, a little side project. Because we used to have a show called The Side Project on XAR. Just my random musings in my brain, and we put it into a little show. What I'm doing now, I actually recorded the voiceovers for this a few days ago. I've played it on YouTube. I've made some adjustments. It is a YouTube playlist. So we're going to probably publish it maybe end of next week, a few days before the birthday, just to celebrate 25 years of XAR. This is the closest I think we can get to doing a show without getting in trouble. So essentially what this is we're taking music on YouTube that is licensed. And of course, with the interest in Japanese music, lately resurgence of especially city pop and that sort of thing. There's a lot of licensing popping up on YouTube now from these Japanese publishing companies. So we've taken advantage of that, and I've put together a playlist with a little interstitial every few songs. And we hope that it will work. There are a few caveats being, licensing issues could change after the playlist gets published. Licensing outside of the US and I think Canada. I haven't confirmed yet that the playlist works in Canada, but there could be some circumstances where if you're listening outside the US for certain, you may not hear the whole playlist, and it all depends on certain songs being licensed in certain parts of the world. So that's the only caveat with this. But otherwise, I listened to most of it before we came on the air here tonight. Sounded pretty good, but it takes such a long time to put together, because you got to find the music that's licensed on YouTube, not just some other random YouTube page that posts the music. So we went with music that's actually been licensed to YouTube. So we throw that in the playlist. And then you have a second situation where some of the songs, you can only listen to them if you're subscribed somehow to a YouTube subscription service like YouTube Music or YouTube Premium. I have YouTube Premium, which means I could hear 2 Ghibli songs on the playlist. But if I switch to another account that doesn't have YouTube Premium, no Ghibli. So a lot of trial and error, Neff.
Yeah, music licensing is one of those things where it's like, oh, my brain. No, it hurts.
Yeah. So I think I have something put together. I've shown the playlist to a few people, including Neff, I know. I think I've showed it to Bree, Liz, Karam, and some more of our usual guests, including Mika and Umi as well. So they're happy, and they all commented, a few of them, about certain things that I said in the playlist that is reminiscent of the good old days of XAR. Neff, have you listened to any of the interstitials?
Unfortunately, I have not had time. I have been actually swamped at work to the point where I come home, my brains have flown out of my ears, and it's like, can I remember to take my shoes off before I walk, into my house properly? One time I almost didn't, because I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But no, you still got a little time to listen to it. Like I said, we'll publish it end of next week, most likely. And we have other things going on. February 1st, obviously, is the actual anniversary itself. I am not working that day, so instead I will be here, and we'll try to do some streams in the afternoon and in the evening to celebrate XAR's anniversary, maybe with some of our friends from across the Atlantic Ocean and UK and Scotland in that direction, England, Scotland. And then we'll bring some more people on later on. We'll have some other things to celebrate. We have a little giveaway that we're going to do. We also have some new Sarah and Umemi content. Some of it was recently finished. Mischievous Duck Cosplay is working on a nice little project for us that we're going to publish on social media. And a few other wonderful things as well. Most importantly, to keep in mind, if you will, February 1st is an off week for the NFL, unless you count the NFL Pro Bowl games. Is that the day of the Pro Bowl games?
I want to say yes, because I think they figured out that, yeah, no, you got to put it somewhere, and you may as well put it there.
So nothing in big action, if you will, that week as far as the NFL is concerned. Because let's face it, I think in my opinion, the Pro Bowl games they went through those drastic changes a few years ago, and I really haven't followed it ever since.
I mean, I'll be honest, I can understand why they made the changes that they did, because frankly, nobody plays at full speed in the Pro Bowl, which they shouldn't, because of
Right,
course, these are people playing for $1 million contracts during the regular season.
right.
And if they manage to, mung themselves up during what is essentially a freebie,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, you don't like that idea.
Yeah. But I tell you, we had a few interesting games this past weekend. We've set up for the conference championship with Denver. That game was, probably one of the most thrilling I've seen in quite a while. And unfortunately, it comes at the expense of their quarterback, Bo Nix, who will not be participating in the AFC championship game after a very, very late injury.
Yeah, it was literally, I think, 2 plays to the end of the game, and he manages to, was it break his ankle or something? I think it was. I can't even remember now, because I was just, the game itself made me so, shall we say, disturbed that I didn't quite pay attention when, they were explaining what happened to Mr. Nix.
Mm-hmm.
Now that leaves the Denver Broncos using their backup, who I don't think managed to play more than a few snaps all season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, oh no, I'm rooting for the Meteor.
Yeah.
Take both teams out. Thank you very much.
So Denver and New England, which with the forecast this weekend, I'm kind of relieved that they're actually playing the game in Denver, although I don't know what the forecast is in Denver for Sunday.
Well, see, the Denver will then have the advantage of the altitude, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they'll be used to it, etc. Now, if New England was smart, which I'm sure they are, they've been in Denver since probably no later than Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
right? To try and get acclimatized to, being as high up as they are.
Yeah. And Caldo's just asked, has I seen the Uma Musume girls in the Denver Broncos outfits? Yeah, I just browsed to that before we came on the air. One of the local news stations, KUSA, profiled 2 Uma Musume cosplayers who are also Denver Broncos fans and have been showing up at Broncos games as Uma Musume characters.
Yeah, and in fact, in one of the subreddits on Reddit that I inhabit, the AFC East Meme Wars, before the game between Denver and Buffalo, there were 2 pictures of Gold Chip, and they literally said which, Gold Chip would show up. The one where she looks like she's going to, bench press a truck. The other looking like the ultimate derp face. Like,
Nah.
unfortunately, it was the one that could bench press a truck.
Yeah. We definitely have to get into a little more Umumusame. A couple of people have been asking me about that, so maybe that's something we do next week, or on the day of XAR's anniversary. I will tell you right off the bat, we will have a few small changes in our broadcasting schedule the next couple of weeks. Most importantly, the fact is that next Tuesday we will not stream. The reason being, I just found out that my optometrist that I've been seeing since I was a kid is back as part of my health insurance. So the next available appointment is late Tuesday afternoon. And dilated pupils, and Liz reminded me of this, dilated pupils and computer screens don't mix very well.
I can beat that. Dilated screens and eyes and a snowstorm. Because I had to go to my eye officer appointment during the snowstorm we had last week.
Oh, no.
And because of my medical conditions, I cannot skip those appointments. So once they said, we're here, are you sure? Because they haven't even plowed the parking lot. I'm like, yes, I'll come.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 15-minute drive that was turned into a half-hour drive. The car handled it better than I did. And then when I got to the parking lot, nothing was plowed, nothing was shoveled.
Oh.
I literally stepped out of the car and I was up to snow just below my knees.
Gee.
And then trudging into the optometrist and then trying to, shake off what felt like, a kilo of snow.
January in Canada, eh?
Yeah, AA. Actually, this has been the worst winter we've had for dumpings that I can recall in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, today it dumped again. So I actually missed my chiropractor appointment because I'm like, no, I don't want to risk it because I'd forgotten, because this morning I got rushed out of the house by pest control, believe it or not.
Oh.
And I'd forgotten my little over boots for my shoes. So I'm like, no, if I try to walk in Vans in the snow, I'm going to end up on my backside or worse.
Oh, boy.
Hmm.
So I want to give you a moment, Neff. We're talking about football. Denver versus New England. Oh, and by the way, Caldeth, it was pointed out in one of the articles I read that the one of the major news stations who covered the Umumusame cosplayers was KUSA. But if you say that all together as kusa, that's one of the Japanese words for grass. So...
Holy coincidence is Batman.
Yep. And, well, Neff, you're starting to freeze a little bit there.
I don't know what to tell you because everything seems to be going okay on my end. I have, several things going on at once, and I'm not sure why my face apparently on screen has decided to, freeze in the most non-dignified position that it actually could, short of the full dirt face.
Yeah, yeah.
The camera light is still on, so I'm still.
It's going to be frozen for everybody, Liz. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Discord is lagging quite a bit. It's just Discord, though. It is not. It's not the stream. So.
Okay, that's good. So it's just Discord being Discord. That I can deal with.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Why don't you, Neff, try to disconnect and reconnect your video camera real quick and see if that fixes anything.
Okay, so turn it off in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it off. Wax on. Wax off.
And it's black. Oh, there you go.
Nope, there we are. Except, well, no, okay, it seems to be.
You're back now.
Moving a bit. Okay. So it's just Discord. Oh.
Yeah.
If it isn't the computer, it's Discord. If it isn't the Discord, it's the computer.
Yeah. Well, we had some outages earlier today with AOL and Yahoo, which kind of got us stuck for a little while over here.
AOL. Now, there is a 3-letter acronym I have not heard in a while.
It's kind of hard for me to get rid of my personal account with AOL,
Well, it's like my account with my ISP. I mean, people say you could get cheaper connection somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, except I'd lose an email address I've had for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's like, yeah, and I'd be trying to track down all the places where I'd have to change it,
Mhm.
especially with my regulator up
Yeah.
here, legal regulator. And I'm going, no, 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 no. The only way I would do it is if I could figure out a way to run my own mail domain so that it would never change again. And every time I try to figure that out, I just get so confused. It's like, no, no. I'll just keep paying the ISP whatever they want.
Nef.com. That sounds like an interesting one.
Yeah, that might raise an eyebrow or two with my regulator for my law license. So yeah, no. Be cute though.
All right. So, as I was trying to say before Discord turned you into Max Headroom, I'll give you a few minutes to spill out your thoughts about your home football team, American football team, that is.
Yes, thank you. Again, this is one of those things where this team both makes me happy and enrages me. And that literally was the game last Sunday, or last Sunday or Saturday rather.
Saturday.
I was Saturday. Thank you. I was like going, okay, things are going well. We're having a few bad minutes. That's fine. We can fix this. And then the last 2 minutes of the first half, I was ready to hurt somebody, and it wasn't me. It's like, what kind of play calling results in that kind of mess? It's like you gave away 10 points.
A lot
You
of
just gave it
unanswered
away.
points, yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't do that. But Josh says, you know what? I'll put on the Superman cape. I'll get us back to this. And he does. And, again, the team rallies and they pull off some things that are completely insane. And then all of a sudden, we get ref ball. Now, people will say that, look, it was called the way it's supposed to in the book. I submit to you that first defensive interference penalty was absolute horse bleep. The second one, I have no problem with. Never mind the unsportsmanlike that Tre'Davious White earned for deciding his helmet, was going to be demonstratively used to, show up an official. Like, no, don't, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And of course, the Bills lose on a field goal, except it's not them screwing it up. It's the other team making it.
Mhm.
So, what's the aftermath of all that? Well, of course, they put Josh on the podium, and Josh, being Josh, puts it all on himself, which isn't fair. He didn't have his perfect game, but no quarterback does. I don't care. I don't care. Tom Brady in his prime. Nothing is perfect, right? So again, I give him that. But then management starts doing things, and I'm going, okay, wait a minute. No, no, no. This is okay. Now, to explain, folks, why I'm so angry about this. The Pagulas, who own the Buffalo Bills, also own the Buffalo Sabres, who, up until this year, hadn't even sniffed the playoffs for 13 years. 13. That takes some doing, or in this case, not doing. The problem was, and the owner, Terry Pagula, finally realized this, that by keeping his friend, Kevin Adams, in the GM chair and allowing him to recycle coaches like I recycle my socks, the team would continue to suck. See, in hockey, it's a lot harder to get that one player that completely turns a team around, which is why every time they got a high draft pick, they'd sputter, and eventually they'd leave and go on to great success somewhere else. See Jack Eichel in Las Vegas. But now we're in a situation where he has fired Sean McDermott and kept Brendan Bean. And I am seeing the same pattern emerge now where it's like, oh, we're going to keep my friend as the GM and let my friend find another coach. Folks, I have walked through the wasteland of Bills coaches that they have gone through. Like, they are the absolute antithesis until Sean McDermott of go through a coach. Whereas you had Pittsburgh, who literally just fired Mike Tomlin after 19 seasons. They finally said, okay, look, just getting the playoffs and getting blown out in the wild card isn't good enough. But here we are. They have fired Sean McDermott. Brandon Beane is in charge. And in fact, not only is he still in charge after the failures, because part of this is on him for the players he drafts, but also it's like, okay, he's also not only not fired, he's promoted as well. This is literally the Peter principle at work. Fail upwards depending on how stupid you are. Well, I'm sorry, Brandon Beane must be as dumb as a sack of rocks to get the president and the GM role at the same time. I'm going, and I resign myself now to the very real likelihood of this team not making the playoffs next year, and Josh Allen at some point going, you know what? I want out. I want to go somewhere where they know what they're doing. They put, players in place that I can play with and that will stay healthy. And I want to ring, as much as he might love Buffalo, I'm sure he wants a Super Bowl ring more than anything else in the world. And if that happens, I will be sad. But if it happens, it is because Bills management has basically decided that they would rather, have a bunch of yes people floating around, because now I'm hearing that they want to hire their old offensive coordinator who they fired, who went on to coach the Giants and failed at that and got fired. And I'm going, what are you doing?
Anybody at the Bills know how to fix web cameras?
No, it's not the webcam anymore. It's Discord being Discord. Watch this. Click. Off goes the camera. Click. On goes the camera. And Discord will be happy and fine until it decides to, croak again.
Well, this time there was the latency was low on Discord, so.
Well, I don't know, because before, remember what was happening was all we were getting was me blinking.
Yeah.
Freezing is a completely new thing, which if this is what's going to happen tomorrow, when I'm going to be working from home, doing a hearing, that would be just the icing on this rancid cake of a file I have to deal with tomorrow.
No, I didn't want to break your train of thought right in the middle there, but yeah, poor Josh Allen. What he's been through with this team the last 7 years, right? It's been 7 years.
It's been 7 years. And honestly, I can't count the number of injuries. And the thing is, no matter the injury, he keeps going. Like, it's nuts. I mean, I fear for him if this keeps up, that by the time he's maybe my age, his idea of a good time is going to be a nap. Which actually doesn't sound bad, but let's not go there.
But no, we'll see what happens with the Bills under quote unquote new leadership. I was sort of surprised given that the circumstances with McDermott, but it's we'll see how things go going forward, and we have some exciting conference championships to look forward to this weekend. And then 2 weeks after that, the big game. And we go to our yearly meme, Neff, of calling it the big game and not that title that we're restricted from using.
As I like to say, this year I'll be cheering for the NFC. I don't care who comes out of the NFC. I'm cheering for the NFC. Because there's no way I'm cheering for Denver. And if you think that I'm going to cheer for the New England Patriots, no. They are mortal enemies of Bills fans.
Well, let's talk a little anime, Neff. The big news from anime the last few days is apparently Netflix getting into an exclusive partnership with the animation studio MAPPA. MAPPA, known for, they started with Kids on the Slope and the Hajime no Ippo sequel, course, they're responsible for Yuri on Ice. They're also responsible, I think, for the recent Ranma 1/2, which happens to be on Netflix. But yes, the new exclusivity agreement that MAPPA anime projects will be streaming on Netflix going forward. So your take on that?
Okay, once you get into exclusivity, things get really, really messy.
Mm.
Because now I could see Sony going, okay, you want to play that game? We can play that game too. Because Sony has enough money to do it, right?
Yeah.
They're one of the few companies who can tell Netflix, okay, you want to play games? We'll play games.
Right.
So they could play games through Crunchyroll, but where does that leave the others? Like, for example, High Dive. High Dive, I mean, apparently their big announcement was a complete revamp of their apps. Now, I haven't seen them yet because I
Ooh.
usually use the computer. So
Right.
I may, fire up the Apple TV at some point to watch something on High Dive and see how it looks, if it's any better. I will say that the High Dive app up to this revamp has been, how can I put this politely? Feels like a work in progress.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a few times before. That doesn't seem as intuitive as some of the other apps.
Yeah, but even Crunchyroll has kind of backslid on that
Mm.
because, especially on the computer, if you try to do something as simple as show me all the new programming, the problem is what you get now is this weird mix of new stuff that they have reissued, and stuff that they've put new dubs on.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, as well, they haven't figured out yet that there has to be a way to say, I only want to see dubs in X language, right? So when I see a new dub for a series, I'm like, oh, great, it's a new dub. Then I realize, no, it's not a new dub in English. It's a dub in Hindi, which I'm sure is a lovely language, but I don't speak a lick of it. So I'm going, and speaking of going, I'm going to restart the camera again, or at least,
Yeah.
tell Discord to, stop being a butt.
Bree says you can watch High Dive through Amazon Prime. So do
Yes,
once you have a subscription with High Dive, and then you can link it, like you can link Amazon to a few other services?
No, in other words, it's the reverse. What it is Prime will have their catalog through High Dive. The problem is it won't be necessarily the same,
Uh-huh.
and that's the problem. That's why you would literally need. And I'm checking this. This is Discord because I can tell you right now, in the preview window, I can see that I'm fine. So this is Discord being Discord. I don't know why. I mean, the only thing I could think of, I mean, I didn't turn on VPN tonight because I didn't want to risk it causing, havoc, but I'm wondering if I maybe should have,
Right.
because at this point I don't know what's going on. But again, I can move my head in my preview window, everything is fine. There we go. Now I'm moving in the, window that everybody's seeing right now,
Oh boy.
and now I'm not again, and it's like,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my internet is still solid, no drop frames for me, so I'll try to be quick with I'll try to be quick then with the rest of my thoughts here. The other thing I was going to mention about the Netflix MAPPA tie-up real quick is that in their statement, they will be working together on new projects in a more comprehensive way. Quote, from story development to merchandise. So what does that quote mean? Does that mean that, less ideas from manga and more ideas from Netflix brass, or what?
Or Netflix will have more of a say about what is produced as merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be very, very bad because, of course, as we know, with some anime, you tend to get the odd thing that's produced that's kind of, shall we say, risque, and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can immediately see that happening, where they say, you know what, those bunny girl figures, no, we don't like you doing that. Don't do that.
We'll turn now to Japan news real quick. The sumo tournament is underway. We have quite an interesting situation right now in sumo. The two top-ranked wrestlers, Ono Sato and Hoshoryu, don't seem to be doing very well. As a matter of fact, there is one particular stable, sumo stable, if you will, because that's how sumo hierarchy works. All these wrestlers work and train in various stables. This one is Isegahama, which has been around for quite a while, created by a former Yokozuna and now run by a former Yokozuna by the name of Teruno Fuji. This tournament so far, they have had 5 what they call kinboshi. So a kinboshi is a gold star, and that is given out when a wrestler ranked in the top division at the rank of Maegashira, which they also call rank and file, because you have the top members of the division. You have Yokozuna, Ozeki, Sekiwake, Komusubi, and then below that you have Maegashira 1 through 16. So Maegashira 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, of course, it's split into East and West. So if you're ranked in Maegashira and you beat a Yokozuna, it's called a Kimboshi, which means that you get a little bit of an extra stipend every tournament for the rest of your competitive career. I believe that's how it works. So Isegahama stable had 3 wrestlers produce 5 gold stars. So we had 2 wrestlers, very, very talented, by the names of Yoshino Fuji and Atami Fuji, win consecutive matches against both Yokozuna. And then in the middle of that, Hakuno Fuji, previously known as Hakuoho, or as I say on the times I watch sumo with Bree, we have these names for some of the sumo wrestlers. So I used to call him Hakuoho. Don't quote me on that, okay? He changed his name because he's one of the former wrestlers of Miyagi no stable that closed, and they went to Isegahama, and most of them changed their names to what Isegahama uses, which is uses the suffix of Fuji, the same kanji as Mount Fuji. So, yes, that is a big feat. The fact that one stable can produce 5 gold stars against Yokozuna in a single tournament. I cannot remember the last time that was done. But yes, a lot of rumblings at the top of the leaderboard right now as we have only a few more days left in the January tournament.
Yeah, I thought I had access to the live stuff, or at least close to live, but it's not quite live. I think it's a couple days behind on Fubo TV, so I'm a little behind compared to what you're probably seeing.
Right. I know NHK World Japan has been sort of proactive of putting their previous days replays on video on demand rather quickly. There are also other ways you can watch throughout the internet through various methods that we've had to try to figure out. It's a little bit of homework sometimes to get those feeds available for us to watch together, but it's quite a fun process. So yes, that tournament's going to wrap up in a few days. And then, you know, if you're in Japan and you're watching the sumo tournament and you need a little sweet treat, then as I look up this next article, you can go to your local Pizza Hut in Japan and you can have a slice of pizza with strawberry Kit Kat.
Okay. Fine. Someone else could try that. I'm not touching that with a 50-foot pole.
Now, we've talked about some interesting pizzas on these podcasts from Japan, but this one takes the cake, or does it take the wafer? Strawberry Kit Kat Pizza Hut. They sell it by the slice. priced at 490 yen. And it has strawberry Kit Kats in the mix, along with a special mozzarella cheese with extra richness and salt content to counterbalance the sweetness of the Kit Kat chocolates. That's reading directly off of the Soda News article. So yes, it will be available through Valentine's Day, unfortunately. So you have to get over to Japan rather quick to try to test that out, if you will.
Oh yes, Singles Awareness Day, as I like to call that. But anyways, no, actually, I actually sent something to JR shortly before we went on air. Air Canada has now established a new route, seasonal route, between Vancouver and Sapporo. And literally, the tagline reads, and I'm going to see if I can remember it off by heart. Something: enjoy ramen and beer. And I'm going, okay, ramen and beer, that would be just my speed. Just leave me in Sapporo and, come pour me into a plane ride back home eventually.
Yep. Epic snow,
The problem
ramen,
is,
and legendary beer. Those are the three taglines. Because ramen and beer, you could probably get at any izakaya in Tokyo, for that matter, or Japan. I meant to say, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's probably true, but it's like Sapporo, is that little step up, so to speak, with your beer. But yeah, it's just like, then I was thinking about it going, okay, the problem is I have to get from where I am to Vancouver and then the flight. And I'm going, by the time I figure that timing out, I would be in the air for something stupid like 17, 18 hours. And I'm going, if I didn't fly business class by the time they pulled me off the chair in Japan, I don't think I could move for 2 days. Oh, yikes.
Yeah. No. Is just a winter only type of deal, or?
I think that's the plan. Yeah. Now they may expand it depending, I think, on how well it does.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to see how well it does. I mean, like I said, if I had the money and well, technically I have the money. It's just the time I don't have to take, a 10-day tour of Sapporo, and like I said, just basically come home and need a liver transplant.
Yeah. No. Sapporo is in Hokkaido. That's on my bucket list of places to visit in Japan. I've never been as far north as the middle Tohoku. Sendai is the farthest north I've been in Japan. So there are a few places that I want to try to hit someday. Won't be able to try the strawberry Kit Kat pizzas, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I say again, wonderful idea for some folks. Me, I think my taste buds heard that and they went on strike. They said, you try to put anything remotely resembling that in us, and we're going to make you regret it.
Real quick, I have a little bit of a sniffle and maybe a sneeze coming on, so I have to. Oh, it's okay now? Okay, yeah. Maybe because I was kind of away from here a little bit. Maybe that's why. Because I'm also turning my head away to check the stuff on my screen. I have it on the side here tonight because I got my water bottle directly in front of me. Real quick, Neff, in the manga department, I see that there is a manga by the name of The World is Dancing, which is getting an anime release. That's sort of the big news in the last few days. Are you familiar with that?
No, that is a completely interesting title. The World is Dancing. Now, I'm just having this image of everybody suddenly doing the cha-cha-cha for a random reason whatsoever.
No, actually, the manga has something to do with the ancient dance of No, N-O-H, in Japan, where they dance slowly with the masks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set hundreds of years ago, too.
A historical piece. That might be interesting.
Real quick, what's on your manga iPad department?
Well, let's see now. I've got the little guy with me right now, so I can tell you what I have been reading recently.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of new things that have popped up very recently. The Sacrificial Witch and the Lovelorn King. which actually sounds quite interesting. It's a thing where the witch is married to the king. The witch has a power to take any illness or injury into themselves, and they end up doing that, which causes the king to go, "Wait a minute here, what are you doing?" Right? So I'm curious to see how this one goes. What other ones am I reading recently? Let's take a look. Oh yes, my favorite VTuber is Scary in Real Life. Now that one is hilarious because it is, again. I think I've talked about this one before. It's Komi-san without the 100 friends archetype, and she's a
Mm,
bit more reserved than Komi, if you can believe it. Like
mhm.
she's literally that much of a shut-in, although she does speak. You know, as compared to Comey, who basically, only speaks when, literally the knives are at her throat. Yeek. And let's see, anything else that's grabbing? Let's see. Oh, let me see. I think I was reading something the other day, so I'll just check my history. This app is actually wonderful. It shows you all your history, and it's like, oh yes, oh this is one. She's drop dead drunk. This one's interesting because this is about a guy who is in high school. Or not high school. I think he's actually in college now. Um, he's he was part of the drama club. He dropped out of that, and one his sister drops her friend on him. Her friend basically drinks like I breathe regularly and with purpose,
Yeah.
and it's like he's trying to not, lose his marbles dealing with this woman because she is a handful once she starts having, more than one or two.
Mm,
And it's this whole weird interplay because there is a part of it you see where you're not quite sure if she's actually drinking or if she's just playing the whole act of being, three sheets to the wind
mm,
to try and get what she wants or to maneuver a situation in a way that she thinks is appropriate. So that's one of the ones that I would definitely recommend. It's on Manga Plus.
mm.
Let me see here. Oh, let's see. Oh, even the elf captain wants to be a maiden. This is just wow. It's just because every time you think, okay, this can't get any crazier. Oh, it does. It absolutely does. And it's just like, right, sure. I'm just gonna keep reading. Even though it is basically, the equivalent of cotton candy, it's like, there's no substance to this. I mean, there is an overarching plot allegedly, but they seem to only refer to it randomly between all the shenanigans,
Mm.
which, okay, fine, I guess, but oh, and then My Dress Up Darling XOXO, which is a spinoff of My Dress Up Darling done by
Oh,
another artist,
okay.
where it's much more comedy based and it's much more, oh dear, ooh, yikes, because things happen that did never happen during the thing, and it's more like they just took the comedy, cranked it to 11, threw the knob out the window. So it's something that, yeah, you want to check out if you're really into that sort of thing.
All right.
Let's see, and then
One
one more
more.
I'll tell you about. One more, the hero and the sage reincarnated and engaged, where basically you have the hero and the sage who are battling each other, and they eventually both pass on, not by each other's hand, mind you. They pass on either through natural causes or, in one case, basically magic poisoning, essentially. Then they're both reincarnated at the same time, except now they realize they actually had feelings for each other.
Mm.
So cue them getting engaged and cue the shenanigans thereof. It's really like, it's fun. It's just fun because the sage is this meek. She was an elf in the previous life. Now she's a human, but it's like she's so timid when the hero praises her, etc. As that, it's just like, oh god, you're cute. You're crazy, but you're cute. So,
Cool, cool,
hey,
cool.
hey, hey.
A lot of interesting things, and a few freeze frames to boot there too, which will maybe we'll save the next time. You're audio only, if you will.
I was going to say, there have been some shots that I'm looking at when I'm looking up and I'm going, I look like an ink test that's gone horribly sideways. Like Clayface.
Speaking of Rorschachs, why don't you go ahead with the closing commentary as we close out season 12?
If you have any questions, concerns, or complaints about this podcast or of our Twitch streams, drop us a line. You can drop us a line at extremeanimeradio@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Go to linktree.com/animeradio. There you'll find links to our Instagram account, our Mascots Instagram account, which is at XAR Mascots, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel at Extreme Anime Radio, our Blue Sky account, which is animeradio.bluesky.social, and archive versions of this podcast are available at xarpodcast.net. That's xarpodcast.net or your favorite podcasting platform.
And now, before we sign off, of course, notwithstanding, the technical glitches, we did want to take this opportunity not only to thank everybody for watching tonight as we close out the season, but this being the last podcast before Neff's birthday. Happy birthday, Neff, and many happy returns, and may you continue to have good luck all the way around.
Well, thank you. As I like to say, yes, I've survived another circulation of the universe, this year with no injuries, which, as I say, is always a bonus. No, and I mean, I like those years where it's like no injuries, no accidents, no nothing. Yay.
So I'm sure we'll say it again with our streaming tomorrow, because we're continuing with Ace Attorney, which we will do here at the end of this podcast. But yes, everybody's wishing you happy birthday, Neff. We wish you all the very best. We will now say goodbye to season 12 of the XAR podcast. When the XAR podcast comes back in February, it will be season 13. So for the podcast, until we see you for season 13, for Neff, I'm JR. Thanks for watching and listening. And remember,
keep on looking out for Extreme Mario Twitch streams. And don't forget, archive versions of our podcast are available at xarpodcast.net. That's xarpodcast.net or your favorite podcasting platform. Good night, everybody.
See you for season 13, everybody. Good night.
Extreme Anime Radio.